Hello and welcome to a special episode of Southern Hang Podcast. We've got, as always, four friends, four fraternity brothers based out of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm Neil Wilding. I'm joined by my good friend Sherman Brown, Craig Cotton. Our boy Brian Redmond couldn't make it today, but I know he's here in spirit. He's somewhere saying spoon, splint, spleen. I take your ass.
For sure.
For sure. But anyway, I've been known to go on and on about music. And some of my takes tend to take the fellows off guard a little bit. I believe it was our Pearl Jam episode where we were talking about bands that have deep catalogs. And I think the fellows were expecting to hear like the Stones or the Beatles. And instead I mentioned an indie rock band called Spoon. and so they laughed at me and laughed. But finally I said enough of this. I said, let's take over the podcast. And so I went to the corner of Twitter where the good folk hang. It's that music account that I've mentioned on Twitter, and found at least my Twitter buddy, Chris Stackowicz, and he's going to join us, and we're just going to talk all Spoon, guys. Sorry, but we're going to take over the podcast, and we're going to teach you guys the greatness that is Spoon. So, Chris, are you second-guessing yourself and your life choices that brought you to this episode?
No, not at all. I'm actually really excited about it. I don't get this chance too often.
Yeah.
Talk about a random nerdy subject that I'm really into on air.
Yeah.
We're all about random nerdy subjects, so welcome to the pod, buddy. Absolutely.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, our listeners know all about the nerdiness that Cotton, Sherman, and I can bring to this. But Chris, why don't you just kind of talk a little bit about like your relationship with music, and I believe you're a journalist at one point. Looks like you're an artist as well. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a man of many hats. I feel like I've lived 30 lives, and about to turn 50 this summer. So excited about that. But
it's a cool club.
Yeah,
come on in.
Thanks. Yeah, I do really large-scale murals. I also am really into independent music, country music. As long as it's not big major label production, I generally tend to find it and fly. I'm always looking for the new guys that have a little bit of a shtick and that are going to make it a little bit larger appeal. Try to promote them as much as possible, write about them. I do reviews. I do reviews. I worked for Western Grunge for a little bit. Did some live show reviews where I got to meet with the artist, do some interviews afterwards. That was pretty fun. Sat in the back of a pickup truck with Joe Stam for a little bit of time, drinking a couple beers and just recording live, same Brent Cobb. So had some fun with that, and then I had to go back to work. I work in a school during the winter time. So yeah,
we just barely missed Joe Stam. He came through Owensboro. We took a little road trip down to Owensboro to see our buddy Colt Winter Lepley down there. We saw Colt play, and Joe Stam had just gone through there, so we just missed him.
Love Colt's sound. That EP that he put out last summer was awesome. We haven't got him up here yet. We're looking forward to it, though, whenever he does.
Yeah, he tends to hang out in the Pennsylvania area, but I think he's got another one coming. So it'll be awesome to see what he brings.
Where do we catch your reviews of what you're checking out? Where do I? And for me that's stupid, and I'm not on Twitter. So
mostly on Twitter. There tends to be it's pretty industry heavy on there. So A lot of the next generation producers, engineers, sound guys, they're looking for who they should be working with, whatnot.
Oh, all right.
Kind of a good forum where we allow that to happen in some senses. It pretty much self-censors itself. You can find out who the good guys and who the bad guys are. We really just talk about music on there. Spread it pretty far and wide.
All right. And what's your handle what's your handle on Twitter?
It's Iculus26.
Okay.
ICCULUS26. And
all right.
I have a good story for that for you.
Bring it. What you got?
When AOL first allowed email names, remember when you could sign up for your email name?
Heck yeah. You had to go get the disc from the library.
Well, even before that, AOL had like an onboarding, and like when there was a day for signing up for like major email names, and it was at midnight, and I was a huge Fish fan, and somehow or another, within 12 seconds, somebody took 25 different Iculus AOL accounts. So mine was Iculus26, and I've kept that since like 1994, 95.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you can find me at Iculus26 on Twitter. I do some work for Americana Highways when I'm not in season. And now that tour calendar is popping up, I know that I'm doing a Ricky Chilton one here either Saturday or next Friday in Toledo.
Yeah, sweet. I know. That's why I keep trying to tell these guys, like, everybody thinks of Twitter as a cesspool, and, well, a large part of it is. But if you program the algorithm a little bit, you come across some cool people.
Oh, you can cull it. I don't want to read about politics on there, like, not interested in it. On Twitter, I don't want to hear people's opinions. I want to know what's actually going on. So I just, discard that. Don't want to read less about it, and then I end up, having pretty much all music all the time.
Yeah, and there's guys out there that help curate it, and like it's where I find stuff. It's where I go. The Friday drops. You just go and scroll through, and these are the guys I gotta go check out.
The musicians are on there too, and engaging with them directly is pretty awesome. Like Philip Bowen is always responding to people. Colby Acuff does.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Porter, you can have conversations with her and band plating about her new album any day of the week. And it kind of breaks them down and makes the artist more human, just like you and I. Half of them have families and are doing the same thing, having to take the kids to school in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, and just making kick-ass music at night.
Yeah, that's their day.
That's where we found Rich. Like, I just kind of ran into Rich Henderson, talking to him, getting to know him.
Oh, yeah,
he came
great.
on our show. Like, such a good dude. Got to spend some time with him when he was in Louisville.
He's got a son who plays football. I think bigger kid, too.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So that, I like Rich.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what kind? So you mentioned Fish. Like, is that the music of your youth? Like, were you a jam band guy, or?
I was a punk. Like I got into punk music because it wasn't what you could find on the radio, and anything that wasn't on the radio, I figured was good. Somehow or another, I was in like sixth grade maybe. Rode my bike to the library and got this Dead Kennedys. I don't think we had CDs yet, so it was probably a cassette. And listened to this Dead Kennedys one, and he was going off about the mainstream radio. And, I'm like 10, 11 years old, and that completely shaped my belief in music. Thanks, Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys for doing that. So, yeah, I'm always looking for the independent alternative guys.
Heck yeah, man. Go find the stuff people that don't know about.
Yeah.
So what prompted this? The fellas always making fun of me because I mentioned it in the intro that, like, when I talk about bands with a deep catalog, obviously there's the household names, and like to me, Spoon is a household name, but not to everybody. So when did you come across Spoon?
2001. I saw the CD cover for Girls Can Tell, promo one in a window of a shop in New York City, and I was like, what is this? And it was just the coolest album cover. It's this green, it's a greenish tint to a record. It felt like like it was going to be a Miles Davis. Spoon, I was like, oh, it's going to be a jam band thing. I'll check them out. We didn't have couldn't just find them online right away then. So yeah,
that is something
I bought the CD.
That is something the kids will never understand and get to appreciate, is like the idea of buying a CD that from a band you've never heard of because the album cover looks cool.
Yeah, that's
I mean, now the music. I mean, a lot of artists don't even release albums anymore. It's like they just drop singles and hope they hit it on TikTok, and then they're done.
That's why I was so excited about that Sturgill Simpson supposed, physical media only release.
Oh yeah, I've listened to the YouTube version about 3-4 times already this week, just burning through it. So yeah, I love how unique he is, but
yeah,
I'm digging to see what happens when it comes out. Yeah.
Well, in that physical media sense and him bringing it back, I think that Spoon album was probably one of my last ones that I physically bought before it became the digital age. So this actually kind of pulls it full circle.
Yeah.
And which album was that?
Girls Can Tell, you said, right?
Yeah, Girls Can Tell. And then I think the last album I bought was the Beck one, Sea Change.
Sea Change. Oh,
yeah.
Lost Cause.
Yeah. Paper
tune.
Tigers.
Yeah. The last CD I bought was the Kaiser Chiefs.
Nice.
And but I don't know. People are buying physical media now. It's funny. I got a bunch of vinyl, but nowadays people are buying CDs again.
Yeah, I bought the Sturgill one just to put in my car. Figure I'll listen to that nonstop for the next couple months.
Heck yeah, man. So, I was talking about Spoon. So I came to them kind of late, and it was right before streaming. But there was it was when there was music online, but you had to buy it.
Yeah.
But there were some pirate sites out there, and there was this pirating site that was always pushing indie rock. So that was where I found bands like the Hold Steady and the National and Clap Your Hands Say Yeah, that whole thing. And it was just sorry to those bands. I think they're doing fine, but that's how I found it. Was I was just it was this pirating site. And they pushed Spoon's Gimme Fiction. And so that was where I first heard of them. And then, of course, I immediately went back and consumed all of their back catalog. Just in time for, when Gaga 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 came out. And, but, man, we should... so, guys, Sherman... Cotton, I know you're not spoon heads. Should we do a little history here for you guys?
Absolutely, bring it. Educate us.
When do I get to sing Spoon Man? I'm just so glad y'all found each other. I've been trying to figure out how I can contribute, and that's really the only thing I could come with. But I was excited to sing y'all were spoon men that have found each other, and then I'm excited to be the fly on the wall, buddy. I'm here, but I'm just excited to be in the room watching.
Well, when I first started listening to them, I was excited. I thought that they had named themselves after the Tick. Did y'all watch the Tick, the cartoon?
Yeah.
And he would always yell Spoon, but unfortunately, no, that is not what they named their band after.
All right, we're ready. Me and Sharm are ready for our lesson. Right. Fire down, teachers.
Okay, so
will there be a test? Will there be a test at the end that Sherman and I have?
Well, and Chris and I went through. We nerded out pregame to this. So we did have a little bit of a tailgate for this, and we did a little bit of a fantasy football style draft, and we each took songs from various albums, and so we organized them into some categories. So their first album, their debut album, I think came out in like 1996. So this is a band that's been around a long ass time.
30 years now.
Yeah, like you think about what was coming out in '96. Like that was the same year No Code came out.
Yeah.
Right.
What's thinking? Yeah. I mean, that was Fuji's era.
Yeah.
They were dominating.
Go ahead, Con.
Yeah.
So, y'all want to do your Fuji routine?
No, we're just taking the class notes. I'm still writing.
You're not doing your Fuji one time?
One time. Yeah, no, I love me some Fuji's. Yeah.
So what we did is we broke them down into categories. So like their first two albums, I kind of called it like their post-punk origins. So they had Telefono in 1996, and then like 98, 99, a series of Sneaks came out. And Series of Sneaks kind of had this infamous, if you will, like they got fired from their label. They had some beef with their label, and they put out two songs. Like it was, who knew indie rock had diss tracks? But they put out an EP of two diss tracks to their former management and label. So they kind of now when you go to stream a Series of Sneaks, you get those two songs. So those are
these are from hip hop people. These are sneak disses.
Not sneak. Because a series of sneaks. Yeah. Like when you listen to them, there's no hiding it though. Like you can tell they're pissed.
I like it.
I'm not sure who exactly they're pissed at, but they're pissed.
They are pissed.
And they remind me of the Pixies where, spoon, you're thinking spooning, soft, it's like the round. And, they sounded like the Pixies when they first came out. They were anything but this soft spoon.
Yeah, they're like, their sound is very much it kind of fit the alternative rock of the time back then. They certainly have evolved. But it was, it was. I didn't know them back then, as I said, but I'm glad I found them. And so then they came out with the album that you were talking about, Chris. They came out with Girls Can Tell, and I feel like they had like a three album run where they were like indie rock darlings. They had Girls Can Tell, Kill the Moonlight, and Gimme Fiction, and they had. They did have a little bit of notoriety come from a song, "The Way We Get By," because they have had some songs that have kind of hit the pop culture. Like so, the way we get by had a needle drop, as we like to say here on Southern Hang, on the OC.
Yeah.
So for fans of the OC, that song hit, and they kind of had they went viral before you could go viral, right?
The first couple of seasons of that, the show was as cheesy as you can possibly imagine, but whoever was doing the music was awesome.
Yes.
They pretty much introduced Rogue Wave, every, late 90s, early 2000s band.
Right.
It was indie before Apple could find them. Because that was the other way they got big, was being in an Apple commercial.
So which one was that?
Well, I think The Way We Get By was on
The Way We Get By was in the Apple commercial too.
But first it was on the OC.
Gotcha. Well, I know Small Stakes from Kill the Moonlight was on The Bear here recently, which is also a fantastic show that pulls in music. So they were like indie darlings, and then like became pretty damn big band, and that's when Gimme Fiction was a big album. I Turned My Camera On, like all of that. Like they were pretty big then, but when they released Ga 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 times 5, I feel like that was their big commercial breakthrough. I don't know if they had more support from the labels or what, but like that was their album, and that song had the Underdog on it, and Like that's the song you might hear on your Muzak at the grocery store.
Yeah, you'll know that one.
Like that's a pretty common song. Interestingly enough, will not be found on our playlist that we put together. It's a great song. I love the song, but it's, but yeah, that one. And that was. They also had.
That's not part of the draft.
We didn't draft it. It's in there, but we didn't. You didn't draft. Yeah.
When you're done drafting, do you put your teams against each other? And did one of y'all win, or is it just hey, we're two teams that are mutually like high-fiving each other, like, man, you're a badass team, you're a badass team, and what happens at the end of the draft? I'm trying to get to the proper nerd level.
I feel like
it's a good way to narrow down a really broad topic, right? You've got 13 songs on some album, 10 on another, but you only have 45, 50 minutes to talk about it. So, how do you narrow that down? And drafting made it fun, made it.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got the next pick.
I know. That's right.
Am I going to get the good song?
Yeah. Well, Sherman and I have done a Pearl Jam draft. So, or did you just see the results, Sherman? Did you participate in my Pearl Jam draft?
No, we were part of that.
That's right.
We got to see the that one show.
Oh, Combs.
Yeah, Brian Combs.
We had Combs on there with us.
I feel like before that we did a Pearl Jam draft too. But that's how nerd we are.
We did with Corfage.
So Sherman, you're a movie guy. Do you remember the movie Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell?
I do.
So do you remember how badass the music was in that movie?
I do.
So the score was done by none other than Britt Daniel, the lead singer of Spoon.
Awesome. Did not have that knowledge.
How about it? And so,
that's awesome.
And I think that was kind of the systematic of them becoming, at least getting to that peak. And that was all before, I think, Gaga came out. And so all of that happened, and then they became pretty damn big. Like, they were on Billboard, right? Like, I feel like they were part of the pop culture at that point.
I think they got to the very edge of pop culture, and then instead of being the indie darlings, they just stayed in their lane, and that's kind of been their consistent model throughout. They're not really changing their sound, so their catalog it's vast, but it's like watching a visual artist over time get better and better and better at painting that subject matter. And I think as their albums go, he really does get better and better and better.
Yeah. I agree. And then so they had the big success with that.
Yeah.
Chris, when you describe ga, how do you pronounce it? Do you say Ga times 5?
Guy 5.
Yeah.
Ga 5.
Ga 5.
Is and for the novice over here enjoying the show, is the consensus of the band, are they still the core group, or has there been some key pieces that have come and gone, or is it or
just two guys? And guests will come in and guys will come in and out, but it's guy who owns the Jim Eno. He owns a music sound company. He does the drums, bass line, etc. And then you've got Britt Daniel, who's
when they're live, they're more than a two-piece. They're full. They've got full, but most of the band is really Britt on lyrics and guitar, and then on drums, and drums are a big part of this band. So they did. So they had Ga 5, and they have all the success, and then they released Transference, which was actually their highest charting album because there was so much built up demand, and then it was a bit of a left turn. Fantastic album, I love it to death, but it was not as near as poppy, like pop rock as the previous album.
Yeah, they were more into making a soundtrack I think, than making a pop album proper.
That's right.
Yeah. So taking that where they could have gone even higher, pop mainstream is indie. They wanted to keep their focus on what their original idea was. And that was, perfecting this sound, that getting this story across.
Yeah. And so...
So this is like 2010?
2010. Yeah, Transference came out 2010. Still, and they sold a ton of records, and the tracks from that are still very high in their streaming data, but it was a bit of a departure from the previous. And in fact, really, like the album they had done before was probably their most poppy effort.
Yeah, Gaga.
Yeah. And then they took a break. They were gone for several years, and in 2014, they released "They Want My Soul," and goddamn, like they came back with authority. I love that record. It's.
They became rock and roll, like from indie punk from punk origins to like becoming that indie sound to all of a sudden like. This is what the new wave of rock and roll is going to sound like. And I think they really form a backbeat to what we're hearing now. I mean, the guys we listen to, whether they're indie country or, rock and rollers, they're listening to Spoon. It's on the, I know a bunch of them, and it's like their nerd out band.
They are the musicians band.
Yeah,
right?
they're musicians band for sure.
Yeah. And so, and then they put out Hot Thoughts in 2017, which is kind of a forgotten album by theirs, but Sherm likes to call them bangers. There's some bangers on that one.
Yeah,
it's more like electronic, right? Like it's a little more of an electronic.
Yeah.
But man, continuing to crank out. And they take another hiatus, and then 5 years later, they release Lucifer on the Sofa, which is the one hanging on my wall, and it's like 30 years into it, and they're still making like relevant, powerful.
Have either of you guys got to catch them live? They put on a show.
I did. Yes. I saw them in New York City in 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
It was
early.
It was right.
Really, relatively.
Kill the Moonlight, because we had seen him on the OC, and we saw that they were playing a show. I think it was at the Bowery. I'd have to check that. Yeah.
And they're coming to Kentucky here. They're coming right down the hill from my house, aren't they?
Yeah, they're playing at Iroquois Amphitheater with the
When are they?
It's this summer, I think.
We'll have to go. I'm 3 miles away. We'll go down there and check them out.
A golf cart from Craig's house.
Yeah, I can do that. I can drive you. I can drive to the amphitheater on a golf cart. We can go up there and drive, and watch the show.
They are. I saw.
It's a great venue. They
make the rounds at the festival circuits. I'm surprised we haven't seen them on some local festivals, but I saw them. They did play Forecastle multiple times.
Okay.
And so I saw them in 2010. So that was right after they had released Transference, and they were like second billing. Like the Flaming Lips headlined that festival, and so Spoon came on, and then the Lips played.
That's all.
And She and Him. I caught She and Him right before.
Oh, was that M. Ward and?
Yeah, Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, that was fun.
Captivating. Like it's just like Zoe Deschanel. Like she's just like I don't know. She's captivating. Like that whole movie, the 500 Days of Summer. It's like the truth. Like she put a spell on you. It's crazy. And it was true live too. Her and M. Ward, man.
So what'd you think of when you saw them live?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was mostly the She and Him stuff, but they did some of M. Ward songs she's guested on, and they played a couple of those as well. It was good.
And how did Spoon compare?
Spoon was amazing. They played, that was a long set for a festival set. I mean, they played 20-something songs. Opened with Like it was mostly Gimme Fiction, Ga 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 Ga, and Transference. It was mostly stuff from that. But it was a phenomenal show. I was right up front too. I was there, fellas, with Corfage.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I was like 11 rows back with my date. It was at the Bowery Ballroom. So it was 5 weeks after it came out on the OC. So
wow.
Yeah, we got tickets like soon after, we saw that episode, and it sold out, and it was pretty awesome seeing them. They were in still a pretty raw phase.
And you were living in New York there, or you happened to be there?
No, I was living in New York City. I went to grad school at Stony Brook out on Long Island,
Gotcha.
which was pretty awesome. And I lived in Queens and Kew Gardens. Moved there from Notre Dame and growing up in northern Indiana. So I was like the farm boy in the city. And I'll tell you what, that was something else. I graduated, and the day after I graduated, I had my everything packed and moved into this new apartment in the city, and was like, holy shit, what am I doing?
I remember I used to have to go to New York City for work. Like I'm in the financial business, so I'd have to be up there to call on like the big wirehouse firms and banks. And it's like when I started going to New York, I remember I had to learn how to walk, like on the street, and somebody gave me some feedback. It's like, you got to hold firm. Like you got to walk like you're flexing, and just you hold your ground, and they'll respect you. They're like, people will bump into you, but you got to hold your ground.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
And
were you throwing elbows, Neil? Were you just firmed up, just
that was just
ready
me in
for
the
it?
mosh pits in college. I moved on from that.
Yeah.
No elbows. I was just holding my ground.
There's a secret. If you look at their left shoulder, they move out of the way. I don't know why, but you learn it pretty quick. You just look at someone's left shoulder as you're approaching them, and they'll instantly move out of the way. Don't know why.
Tricks. Who knew? See, people tune in for spoon knowledge, and you get how to handle the crowds in New York City.
Yeah, I learned this while I was there. But when I first was introduced to them and saw them being in the city, their sound was synonymous with my walking the street. So I always any of their songs that have that pacing, that's the rhythm.
The rhythmic. Right?
Yeah. Walking the streets. And the more I listened to it, then I was in grad school for studio art. So everything that I was thinking about was art related. And I was like, oh my God, this band, because I'm listening to Girls Can Tell. And I'm like, oh my goodness, they're trying to replicate the visual art world here. And the more I think about it through their career, he's following the visual artist trajectory, Britt Daniel is, but in the musical sphere, and how we try to improve our one subject or our style. I mean, I played in Notre Dame Stadium at least 1,000 times. And every time I'm working on getting it more detailed, a little bit, more variant here. And I think that's what a lot of his sound progression was. But there was this stepping to it, and it matched that sound of New York City and me being in art school and thinking about the scale of their sound and how it unified, different elements were unified together, and how the albums themselves were unified together. There was balance, a rhythm to it. Just matched all the principles of visual art, and I was like, he's making a movie soundtrack with each of these albums. This is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, it's so true. And then he goes and does the score.
Yeah,
for a big Hollywood hit. Yeah, awesome. So should we walk through how we nerded out and how we ended up on the songs that we took here, and as we talk through some of these songs, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
We can't go into too much detail here, so we put together a little playlist of the songs that we chose, and and we'll push that out as part of the social media follow-up to this. But as you being our guest, Chris, you had the first overall pick of our Spoon Fantasy Draft. And so with that first overall pick, what song did you end up taking?
Well, hold on. Before we get into this, let's go over a couple rules here.
Okay. Well, we've already drafted, so we've already done this. So
I understand, but you got to educate us on your rules.
Right, so here's what we did. We broke into categories here. So like the first two albums, or the first category, the Telefono and Series of Sneaks, and we threw the Feet EP onto that. And then the next category was that indie rock era, which was Girls Can Tell, Kill the Moonlight, Gimme Fiction. And so basically what we're doing is we're each taking a song to fill those categories. Then we went into a category I called Is Spoon Actually Mainstream Now? And so that's where GA5 and Transference would fall. And then we had a category that I called Spoon Better Than Ever. And this is when they came back in 2014. And those albums, They Want My Soul, Hot Thoughts, Lucifer on the Sofa, would fall into that category. In 2019, they actually put out a Greatest Hits album. So that was a way for us to sneak in another hit. And then we talked about side projects. And, I got a surprise for you guys on that one. And so we took some... we drafted some songs from their side projects, and then we have a couple of flex spots where we went off the board a little bit.
Neil trying to get the how do I get extra songs, the greatest hits. Yeah, the greatest hits. I was like, that's Neil all over. How do I slide in more picks than what my pre-allowed rules are? Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. We knew that was coming.
There's a loophole.
We're gonna have a draft. We're going to have a draft of 5 songs, but here are my 9.
Right, here are my, yeah.
It is a prerequisite of a music conversation that I got to somehow, within the rules.
No, you've never been in the rules. You've never been in the rules.
A loophole.
Right? Yeah.
Chris, you would think he is an attorney the way he can bend rules, buddy. He can find the loophole in the system.
Yeah. All right, well, allow us to have a part of the shows here. So here, with the number 1 pick in the 2026 Spoon Draft by the Spoon Men, Chris, the number 1 pick.
I chose the song No You're Not from Sneak of Sneaks.
Yeah.
Fantastic song. And I think when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about what makes the Spoon sound. There's a sound that's specifically a band, and what comprises that. And I felt like No You're Not was the closest one on that album to showing kind of what Spoon's going to become. That's the closest to their later trajectory.
Fantastic pick, and you're right. It does kind of. It's like it represents the beginning, I think, for those guys. And their debut album. I mean, do you listen to that one very much? I feel like Sneaks is really more of like when they really started to figure themselves out.
I think Telefono shows when they're a band that can actually make it. Right? They've got all the place to be successful later on. But it doesn't have very much of their clear sound. It just has enough to show that they've got...
It's rock. It's like garage band rock.
It sounds like every album put out in 1996 that was not done by a label.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
There's a 96 sound.
All right, so then it kicked to me for 2 picks, and I went a little more mainstream with my picks. I went with a song called Black Like Me from GA5. GA5 is their most popular album. This is probably not the most popular song on that album. The Underdog is. But I feel like Black Like Me is their best song, from that album. I love that. It's an acoustic song for about 2/3 of the song, and then it kicks. And when it kicks, man, that's what I love. I love it when a song kind of changes and it kicks in, and it's a beautiful song.
Yeah, really.
It's one of my favorites.
I was glad you picked that. I mean, it's when I first heard it, I was surprised, and I wanted to hear it like instantly. I was like, "Whack like me," what?
Yeah.
And sonically, it's just something else. How they maneuver through it and end up, it's like they created a wormhole in the middle of the song to the opposite side of the universe of sound.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an all acoustic version on YouTube of Britt and his guitar, and he's just playing it, and it's like, I don't know, he's like in the back of a dressing room or something somewhere. It's just him playing it, and it's almost like a different song because it doesn't have that change. It's equally as beautiful, but it's very different. But the album track there is amazing. And then with my second pick, I felt like I had to complement it with more of a rocking song, so I took The Beast and the Dragon Adored, which is like you talk about the drums and the like tapping, like the beat, like they opened, when I saw them live, they opened with that song, and it's like the perfect opening song, I think.
It's for the album, too.
And it's the opening track for the album. It's jam.
It sets them up for the rest of the album, I think.
That's right, and I think it's got some lyrical drops of other songs on that album. Like they talk about Summoning You, and I think there's a couple other references to other songs.
Yeah, they split through, so it's almost giving you a little bit of foreshadowing of all what's going to happen on the album. I like that. I think that's kind of a fun, playful way of doing it.
Yeah, that's right. And so that 3 picks in, we had covered 3 albums already, and then Chris has got 2 picks from and his picks are from other albums that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, so I had Written in Reverse, which is from Transference, and it's just I think it's a beautiful song, but it also hits exactly on the style of their sound, hitting its perfect notes, everything falling into place, and that it's on such an outlier of an album. I mean, it's amazing. The outlier of their sound, I think, was fantastic.
Agreed. Yeah.
Written in reverse. Did they write the song in reverse? I mean, I'm curious to know more from him about that.
Right.
I've tried emailing him, but to know about it.
Did you get a response? Well, we hit him on Twitter.
No. Yeah. I mean, usually I can get it, but nothing.
Well, after this, the popularity of this episode, it'll, we're going to go so viral. Brett will be reaching out to us.
He'll be calling us, yeah. That's
right. All right. And then what was the second song you took?
The second song I took was one of my favorites, Take a Walk. It hits really hard, but there's levels to it, because let's all go take a walk, and there's a part of it where he's talking about like almost like a family going for a walk, like a family stroll, but like then things are too heated, so let's all go take a walk, and just the powerful effects of taking a walk. But he does it to such a driving, angry pulse. I don't know, I thoroughly enjoy when they break into the chorus on that.
And that's from Girls Can Tell.
Yeah.
And I spoiler, I did not draft the song, I don't think, from Girls Can Tell, because to me, that whole album is like a start to finish for me. I think of that one as a whole. But Take a Walk, man, it's a great song.
It is. I mean, it was on my Walkman, on my Discman as I was walking around New York City. So it kind of makes sense.
Heck yeah. So then it came back to me, and this was like the fantasy football nerd in me. Like, if I had the number 1 overall pick, I probably would have taken this song then. But then, because you had already taken a song from this album, I could let it slide a little bit, And I took Lafitte, Don't Fail Me Now, which is the diss track that we talked about. And it has a sister diss track. But I like them both. I feel like those 2 songs are just absolute jams. But Lafitte, Don't Fail Me Now, just that the guitar riffs on that. Man, they don't play it live anymore, I don't think, and they didn't play it when I saw them. I would love to see them do this song live. It's a great song, and obviously it's an angry song, and it's kind of a good compliment to some of the other songs I took.
Hearing it again after so long, it reminded me of seeing Queens of the Stone Age this past summer, and where Queens of the Stone Age are, there's a crossover in there somewhere.
Well, and they're coming to Bourbon and Beyond. They're coming
another band we'll get to see this year.
Yeah, they're part of a festival lineup here that will be exciting to see.
Yeah. Second to last, right before Foo Fighters. That'll be fun.
Do they still have that? Was that Thunder?
Thunder over
Louisville festival.
Well, that's not a festival. That's like a big fireworks show.
Fireworks
right?
show? I don't. Yeah, my
like
wife went down to it.
Like several million people converge on downtown Louisville.
Yeah, the largest firework display in North America, isn't it? Or at least it was. I don't know if it still is. 2 weeks before Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the kickoff. Kickoff to the Derby. Yeah.
So let's do this, Chris. We've probably spent a whole lot of time talking, building up to this, as I tend to do. Why don't you just mention the song that you took to fill your B-side category, or your the solo or the side project category? Because these boys are going to get a kick out of this side project.
Yes. So he has this side project called Divine Fits. And,
CT. Divine Fits.
All right.
Hold on.
So this is a side band that he has?
Oh, he does. Yeah. But just wait who it's with. Go ahead, Chris.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah, and hold on. Pull it up my notes forward. And, the song is called Light Ice Cream. Every song on there it's really fun, but you can hear what he sounds like in his brain when he's writing a spoon song, and that to me was fantastic to hear. It wasn't similar to like a solo record in that sense, and it's almost like an indie band. The guy from Band of Horses is on it. It's like a indie alt super band.
And that song jams.
Yeah.
And but the reason my boys are going to appreciate this is that the other artist that is a big part of that band is Dan Beckner from
of course,
Wolf Parade.
Wolf Parade.
Hey, there
boom.
We go.
Yes. Which I like the guys give me. Like I'm always hitting up. Like I hit up Spoon, and then I hit up Wolf Parade.
Love it.
And I just talk about Wolf Parade like everybody knows who they are. But
and what's the side project's name again?
Divine Fits.
Divine Fits. All right. I'm gonna spend some time tomorrow.
Yeah.
That sounds
well,
great.
And they go like so. So Britt Daniel, lead singer of Spoon, like he has a song, and then Dan from Wolf Parade has a song, and then they do a song together. And then there's another Brit song and it's so the whole album.
It's like watching a draft between Neil and Chris.
No shit, man.
Talking about Spoon, man. Fuck yeah. It's like just back and forth.
So, and then I pulled a song from that same project called Flag and a Ride, which is also one of Brit's songs, and it's a jam. Like it's Is this playlist don't shuffle? You got to start at 1 when we listen to the playlist. You have to listen to the story of Chris and Neil, and this is the absolutely should. Absolutely
yes, that's the way
in order I've drafted, and the playlist is orchestrated as such.
Yes,
and you will feel. And we didn't cover every one of the songs that we drafted, so there'll be some surprises there. But in the interest of time, I figured we would,
Well, you gotta leave a little. You gotta leave a little carrot. You gotta leave something to let the listeners,
it's a great
search for. Yeah, you can't just give them everything.
It's a great playlist. It's got a variety of songs, but it really shows the kind of how far out they can go and how tight they hold to their sound. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Well, as you're describing them, I mean, and for somebody who's not real familiar with Spoon, and I think I was kind of in that 2014 when you said that they kind of went more mainstream. That's probably where I kind of jumped in. For me, what you're talking about, I need to go back because that Pixies description, you got me. Like, I'm like, all right, wait a minute. I just missed a complete, and the diss track, all of the, anybody screaming at somebody, I'm for it. Like, I want to go back and see what they're mad about. See if I can break that down too. So that's just exciting for me.
Nice.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
Any parting shots, Chris? Anything about Spoon that for our listeners or for Craig and Sherman here that we haven't covered that you wanted to just make sure to get on the record?
Just make sure you go out and listen to them. I think that they actually provide a good history of the American soundtrack from 1996 to the present, and you'll be strangely surprised at how ubiquitous they are. They're everywhere. You've heard them constantly, and yet, like we were saying, they show up in festivals, but which ones? And hit and miss.
Cotton, you're a Marvel guy, right? Like you and your boys watch all the Marvel movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh yeah. It's great. That's a great soundtrack too.
Do you remember you probably don't remember, but the closing track to that during the credits, "The Underdog" by Spoon.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here reading Wiki. I'm reading Spoon Wikipedia while y'all are talking.
Was on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
They made their way.
They're deep into my life, and I don't even know that they're all around me. Like I need to open my eyes to Spoon. I really am embarrassed.
You've been getting spooned.
I've been getting
didn't even
spooned.
know it.
Yeah.
Did we ever get the name? Did we ever find? Did anybody ever say? I see it too because I'm on Wikipedia. But did we ever? Did anybody ever say where the name came from?
We didn't say.
Did you guys say that when we went through this?
It's from the band Can. They were big fans of the band Can. And, which is
I'm not sure what a German krautrock.
Oh, krautrock.
Yeah,
you know krautrock.
Krautrock.
Of course you do.
German krautrock band. Is that a word?
If there
What's
were
that mean?
festivals like there are now, they'd be on the festival circuit, right?
What's krautrock? Is that a German? I don't have that one in my.
I don't know what that.
Like it's Kraftwerk.
It's rock. It's a rock band. They're a rock band.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. They had a hit called Spoon on the song 1980 movie Jagged Edge. I don't know that movie. I can't remember it, but I'm gonna spend all day tomorrow. I'm gonna dig into all this stuff. I'm gonna watch Jagged Edge. I'm gonna watch the OC. I'm gonna be watching the ending of Homecoming.
That makes me want to watch the OC too.
Yeah.
Well, I can't thank. I have two thank yous here. Like Cotton and Sherman, thank you for letting me nerd out again, like I tend to do sometimes. And Chris, man, we hadn't met, but we had tweeted each other and talked to each other a little bit on the internet. And man, it was an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate you coming on the show and helping me educate these fellas on one of the best bands of our lifetime.
I thought they had the second best top 5 album run in the history of album runs after Pearl Jam. I thought that was their fame.
Yeah, well, and you don't even have to stop at 5. Like I would say
12.
Like really 2 through 10.
Well, okay, all right. Just making sure that we got our stats, our stats right. I want to hang out. I want to hang out with Chris again, also, but like when it's more alt country, rock, just deep dive music. Let's just have all general purpose deep dive music conversation. Where I can chime in a little bit more. But
you pick it. I'll jump in.
Yeah, no, you were awesome, man. It really was fun to be a fly on the wall and listen to y'all talk. It's just cool to hear two people that are passionate about any subject to get to go back and forth. So and then just be like, dang, I didn't even know there was that much knowledge to be had on this subject. So it was very cool. Y'all were very fun to listen to.
Well said, Craig.
Thanks, everyone. That's a wrap.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, we'll see you next week.